Fereydoun, King of Kings. Fereydoun became ruler of the world. On the first day of autumn, he placed the Kayani crown upon his head and sat upon the throne. After many years, the world breathed anew. Tyranny retreated, and justice took its place. A great celebration was held, and joy flowed throughout the land. Fereydoun, Fereydoun's mother, who had lived in hiding for years, heard the news. Her son was now king. She went before God, bowed her head to the earth, prayed for her son, and in her heart cursed Zahhak, for she knew no victory comes without cost. Fereydoun unlocked the hidden treasures and made generosity the law of his reign. He sent his mother gifts of gold, horses, and fine robes, and considered her blessing the foundation of his crown. The world seemed at peace. Many believed the age of suffering had ended. But does the world truly show anyone mercy? Fereydoun then began his journey. He traveled across the earth, rebuilding every ruin he found, uprooting every trace of oppression. He adorned the world as though it had been reborn after a great storm. And finally, in a legendary forest called Gush, he established his throne, not for rest, but to guard the new order he had forged.
5 years passed. Fereydoun had 3 sons, 2 by Shahnameh, and the youngest, more beautiful, by Arnavaz. In time, Fereydoun sent his wisest companion, Jendal, to find worthy brides for each prince, 3 sisters, pure and wise from royal lines. Jendal traveled far, arriving at last in Yemen, where its king secretly had 3 daughters. He delivered Fereydoun's proposal, "I seek your 3 daughters for my 3 sons." The king of Yemen hesitated, consulting his elders. They answered, "We are not subjects. If you seek a king's alliance, the price must be worthy." The king found neither a clear answer nor an escape. Yet finally, after much counsel, the king of Yemen consented. Jendal brought the news back, advising the 3 young princes to honor their brides with wisdom and courage, and build a glorious future.
The sons returned home full of joy and spent the night in peace. At dawn, they set out once more, this time with priests and famed warriors, toward Yemen. The king of Yemen received them with a grand welcome, gems, saffron, and musk strewn along the path, a feast of splendid ceremony. The king's 3 radiant daughters were presented with crowns and treasure and entrusted to the 3 princes. Though anxious in his heart, the king declared before all, "My daughters must be cherished as my own eyes and soul." The 3 young men, brave and hopeful, turned back toward Fereydoun, carrying with them a union that promised a bright future for the Kayani world. When his sons were grown, Fereydoun divided the world into 3 realms. Salm, the eldest, received Rome and the East. An army was prepared for him. He sat upon the Kayani throne and was called Lord of the East. Tur, the second son, was given to Iran and the lands of the Turks and China. A renowned host accompanied him. He too assumed the throne, was showered with gems and honor, and named king of Tehran. Iraj, the youngest and most beloved, received Iran itself, the plains of warriors, the crown and the royal throne, for Fereydoun saw him as the most worthy. Thus each son stood ready to serve his own realm.
Years flowed on. Fereydoun grew old, and his 3 sons, Salm, Tur, and Iraj, ruled their own lands. But in the hearts of the 2 elder brothers, the fire of envy began to burn. Salm, king of Rome and the East, believed himself more deserving. "I am the eldest," he said, "yet the crown of Iran went to the youngest." His heart filled with wrath. He sent word to Tur, king of Tehran and China, "Our father has deceived us. Join me. If we remove Iraj, Iran will be ours, and command of the army will be yours." Tur, whose blood ran with battle lust, agreed. But he said, "Not in secret. Send the message openly, with a threat." They chose a bold, sharp-tongued priest and gave him a harsh message. "If the crown is not taken from Iraj, The armies of Rome and Tehran will crush Iran. The message reached Fereydoun. The aged king was wounded and enraged. He said, "I divided the world with wisdom, not whim. Iraj was worthiest. The path you walk leads only to ruin."
The messenger returned and delivered the words of Salm and Tur. Fereydoun summoned Iraj and spoke the truth plainly. "Your brothers are marching with armies," he said. "Two vast realms stand behind them, and their hearts are filled with hate. If you try to answer with softness, know this: in this game, either you move first or they will. In this world, you have no ally but integrity."
Iraj answered calmly, "Father, the world is fleeting. Crowns and thrones come and go, but blood once spilled remains for centuries. I will not plant seeds of hatred for future generations to reap. I will go unarmed, and with words, not swords, I will soften my brothers' hearts." Fereydoun sighed. "Your answer comes from wisdom," he said. "If this is your choice, then go."
He wrote a letter, imbued with counsel and affection. "This message, filled with advice and love, I write to my two renowned sons, two kings tested in war and the ways of the world. I no longer desire crown or throne, neither treasure nor dominion. My only wish is your peace after long years of hardship. Your brother Iraj, despite all that has passed between you, longs to see you. He has stepped away from kingship and comes to you without an army, so that old grudges may be set aside. He is the younger and respects his elders. Honor him, keep him by your side a while, and then return him to me with respect."
They sealed the letter and placed it in Iraj's hands. With a small band, he set out.
Iraj arrived at the camp of Salm and Tur with his few companions. He was received with royal ceremony, and the army was called to behold him. When the soldiers saw Iraj's calm face and measured words, a whisper spread among them. Gazes lingered, and hearts softened. Someone murmured, "He looks like a king." Salm saw this shift. The smile left his face. Turmoil churned inside him. Without a word, he returned to his tent. That night he sat long with Tur. The lamps burned late, and the silence of the camp lay heavier than ever upon the earth.
Night's curtain drew back. Dawn tinged the sky scarlet and lapis. Salm and Tur, hearts full of malice and eyes without shame, strode to Iraj's tent. Iraj, his heart still brimming with love, ran to greet them and welcomed them inside.
Iraj stood calmly, with kindness, and said, "Brothers, if you desire peace, lay aside this enmity." But the rage and greed of the two brothers stole their tongues. And what should never have happened, happened. Like Cain of old, they removed Abel from the world. If only that were all. The stem was severed from the blossom, and the young sapling that should have bloomed withered in silence. The petal without a stem was wrapped in musk and perfume and sent to the father.
Fereydoun was waiting, like a father whose heart cannot rest. The throne was adorned, the feast was prepared. All awaited Iraj's return. But on the horizon, instead of an army, a dark dust cloud rose. A rider emerged from the haze. He did not shout nor bring glad tidings. In his arms, a golden casket. They opened it, and the world held its breath. Fereydoun collapsed, not from the throne, from life itself. The celebration, in one gasp, became a mourning. Drums fell silent, banners were torn, and men who had stood tall yesterday now sat upon the earth. Fereydoun took the cursed offering. He still could not believe. He carried it to the garden, the very place where laughter was meant to echo. But the garden was a garden no more. Fire took the cypresses, and a cry rose to the sky. O Judge of the world, if this blood remains unanswered, then where is justice? Give me time, let someone rise from Iraj's blood. And then the old man sat upon the ground. He wept so long it seemed the very earth wept with him. From that day on, Iran never again saw the color of joy.
The demon that had kissed Zahhak's shoulders watched from afar, laughing and whispering, "This lie has revealed itself once more. Blood, when it comes from family, is safer. When envy and power are unleashed, even kinship becomes not a barrier, but a motive. Morality does not always save if the other side does not accept morality. Iraj perished not because he was evil, he was destroyed because his goodness was not enough."